Let me ask you this. Have you ever dreamed of living on the water in Washington, DC? That picture-perfect blend of the waterfront dining, stunning city views, walkable streets, and that feeling that you're right in the middle of one of the most powerful cities in the world? Everyone has their own vision of what waterfront living in DC looks like. Maybe it's morning runs across the Anacostia River. Maybe it's rooftop happy hours with the Capitol Dome in the background. Maybe it's just knowing after a long day, you can walk outside and feel the energy of a city that never really slows down. But here's the thing, Navy Yard and The Wharf are not the same experience. And if you choose the wrong one, it can cost you in lifestyle, in money, in your daily commute, and in the kind of community you actually want to come home to. My name is Jarriel Jordan. I'm an associate broker and a team lead here in the DC metropolitan area. I've helped dozens of people relocate to Washington, DC, and waterfront is one of the most requested lifestyle categories I hear about. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down both of those neighborhoods honestly. The dream, the reality, the price, and who each one is actually built for. And at the end of this video, you'll know which waterfront is your waterfront. But before we dive in, let me give you some context that most people moving to DC from out of state don't fully understand right away. DC is a city where the neighborhood you choose is everything. Two people can both say they want to live near the water, but end up in two completely different worlds. Different commutes, different noise levels, different price points, and a completely different social scene. Navy Yard and The Wharf are both newer, heavily developed waterfront neighborhoods. Both are walkable, both have great restaurants, both attract young professionals and high earning buyers. And on paper, they almost look interchangeable. But if you live here, if you're a local, you know the difference. And by the end of the video, you will too. Let's start with the Navy Yard. If you want to feel the pulse of a DC neighborhood that's still in the middle of transformation, Navy Yard is it. This is Southeast DC along the Anacostia Riverfront, and over the last decade, it's been completely renovated. What used to be an industrial waterfront is now one of the most talked about neighborhoods in the entire city. The dream here is real. You've got Yards Park right on the water, incredible restaurants lining the riverfront, and Nationals Park sitting right in the middle of it all. On a game night, the energy of the Navy Yard is unlike anywhere else in DC. The streets fill up, the bars are packed. There's an electric buzz you honestly have to experience to understand. And for a certain type of buyer, especially someone coming from a major sports city or someone who loves that stadium district energy, Navy Yard just hits different. You can walk to a Nationals game, grab dinner at one of the waterfront restaurants, and be back in your building without ever touching your car. It's not a small thing to do in a city like Washington, DC. Now here's what most people actually don't realize before they move here. Navy Yard is still growing. That means construction, cranes, noise, new buildings going up all around you. It's a neighborhood that's not finished yet. And if you're someone who needs everything polished and settled around you, this can be a real adjustment. The area east of the ballpark, closer to the newer developments, can also feel a lot quieter and less activated on non-game days. The retail and the restaurant scene, while growing fast, is still filling in. Pricing at the Navy Yard tends to be slightly more accessible than the Wharf. And I say slightly intentionally. You're still looking at condos in the mid 500,000s to well over $1 million, depending on the building, the floor, and the views. But for the square footage and the waterfront access, it often pencils out for buyers who are comparing the two. Navy Yard is perfect for you if you love sports, you love being in the part of a neighborhood that's still building its identity, and you want waterfront living at a price point that gives you a little more room. It's also a strong option for investors because rental demand near Nationals Park is consistent and strong. Now let's say you want something a little more established, a little more curated, a neighborhood where the waterfront experience feels more like a destination every day, not just on game nights. That's where we're headed next. The Wharf is what happens when the city decides to get waterfront living exactly right. This is Southwest DC, sitting along the Washington Channel, and it's one of the most intentionally designed and mixed-use waterfront districts in the entire country. When Phase 1 opened in 2017 and Phase 2 completed in 2022, DC finally had a waterfront that can genuinely compete with what you'd find in cities like Chicago, Boston, or even Miami. The restaurants here are world class. The concert and entertainment venue, the Anthem, is one of the best mid-sized music venues on the East Coast. The piers are active, the boardwalk is beautiful, and on any given evening, feels like the best version of what waterfront living can be. There's no imagination required. You move in and it's already there. The boats on the water, the sunset views over the Washington Channel, the seafood market that has been a DC institution for generations, and some of the best brunch spots in the entire city. And the location is unreal for somebody who's coming from out of state who wants everything DC has to offer. You're minutes from the National Mall, Capitol Hill, and multiple metro lines. The commute story at the Wharf is genuinely one of the best in the city. But here's the honest trade-off. You're going to pay for all of that polish. The Wharf is consistently ranked one of the pricier places to buy in DC. Condos here can easily push to 700s to 800,000s to well over $1 million for larger units or water-facing views. HOA fees in some of these buildings are significant, and because the development is so well designed and in such high demand, there's not a lot of negotiating leverage for buyers. It can also feel more transient than people expect. Because the Wharf draws so many tourists, diners, and concert goers, the energy on the weekends is very high, which is exciting for some people and overwhelming for others. If you're hoping for a quiet Sunday morning walk by the water, you may be sharing that experience with a few thousand other people. The Wharf is perfect for you if you want a fully activated lifestyle, you're willing to pay a premium for a neighborhood that delivers every single day, and you want the best possible version of waterfront living in Washington, DC without having to wait for the neighborhood to catch up to the vision. So let's break this down directly. If you're a buyer who values energy, growth potential, sports culture, and getting more for your dollar, Navy Yard is the right move for you. It has more upside, stronger investment fundamentals, and a community that's only going to get better. But if you're a buyer who wants a premium, fully realized waterfront lifestyle, proximity to the National Mall and major attractions, and you're willing to invest at the top end of the market, the Wharf delivers in a way that very few neighborhoods in DC can match. And here's the insider details that a lot of locals understand that most people from moving out of state overlook. These two neighborhoods, they're about 10 minutes apart by car and even accessible by water taxi. Some buyers in this market end up spending time in both, working or socializing at the Wharf and living at the Navy Yard because the price difference allows them to have a lifestyle without the premium sticker on their mortgage. That's the kind of nuance that only comes from knowing this market deeply. So which waterfront is right for you? Maybe you came into this video leaning one direction and now you're second guessing yourself. That's completely normal. And honestly, that's the exact reason why these conversations matter before you make the biggest financial decision of your life. My team and I specialize in helping people relocate to the DC metro area, and this is exactly the kind of conversations I love having. Whether you're 6 months out from a move or just starting your research, reach out to me. My contact information is right below in the description box. And look, if this kind of content is helpful for you, hit that subscribe button. I put out videos bi-weekly designated to help people navigate the DC market, from neighborhood breakdowns just like this one to down payment assistance programs that most buyers don't even know exist. You don't have to figure this out alone. That's what I'm here for. Until the next video, let's find you a home.